All right, let's talk about how to set and achieve your goals. But you know what? Before we dive in, if you could just take a quick second to subscribe and hit that notification bell, it really helps us out a ton. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so have you ever felt like you're just spinning your wheels? You're working hard, but you're not really getting anywhere? Well, today we are going to fix that. We're going to break down a super simple but really powerful system for setting goals that you'll actually achieve. Think of it like getting a clear map for your future. Yeah, just a quick reminder here. Hitting that subscribe button is honestly the best way you can support the channel and help us keep making these explainers for you. It really means a lot. So, let me ask you something. Do you ever just feel kind of lost? Like you're busy all day long, checking things off your to-do list, but when you finally look up, you're not really sure where you're even heading? I think we've all been there. It's such a common feeling, right? It's like being a ship without a rudder, just drifting along. But here's the good news. There is a powerful way to grab that wheel and start steering your life exactly where you want it to go. And this really gets to the heart of it. Think about it. Without a goal, life can feel like you've been dropped into a strange city with no map, no GPS, nothing. You just wander around, and you might see some interesting things, but mostly you just feel frustrated, confused, and totally exhausted. You're not making any real progress. But with a goal, that changes everything. Now you have a destination. Suddenly you've got a map in your hand. You can start moving with confidence, with a sense of purpose. And that journey, even if it's long and has some twists and turns, it isn't scary anymore. It's an adventure. Okay, so that brings us to our first big idea. Why are goals so important? What do they actually do for us? Let's get into it. When you look at these points together, you can see how they all build on each other. It's pretty cool. It all starts with direction. A goal is like your North Star, right? It points the way. And that direction, well, that gives you a real sense of purpose. You know why you're getting up in the morning. And that why is what fuels your motivation. It's the gas in your tank. And when you're motivated, you just naturally start making better decisions about your time and your energy, which in the end gives you this amazing feeling of control over your own life. You're not just reacting to stuff anymore, you're the one in the driver's seat. All right, so we get why goals are a must-have. But how do we actually create good ones? Ones that aren't just fuzzy daydreams. Well, that's where this next part comes in. We're going to talk about the SMART method. Think of this as the tool that helps you draw your own map. So SMART isn't just a clever word. It's an acronym, and it is a total game changer for turning a wish into a solid plan. Let's break it down real quick. S is for specific. You got to be crystal clear about what you want. M is for measurable. You need a way to see if you're making progress. A is for achievable. It should be a challenge, but not impossible, right? R is for relevant. It has to actually mean something to you. And finally, T is for time-bound. Give yourself a deadline. I'm telling you, when your goal checks all 5 of these boxes, your chances of actually doing it just go through the roof. Let's look at a couple of examples. Okay, here's a perfect example. A lot of us might say something like, I want to improve my English. And that's nice, but it's not a goal. It's a wish. There's no action plan there. But look at the SMART version. I will practice English for 20 minutes every day. Boom. Now that's a goal. It's specific, practice English. It's measurable for 20 minutes. It's totally achievable. Who can't find 20 minutes? It's relevant to what you want. And it's time-bound. You're doing it every single day. See the difference? Now you know exactly what you need to do. Let's do one more, this time focusing on that M for measurable. Saying, I want to exercise more is just so vague. How do you ever know if you've done it? You don't. But a SMART goal like, I will walk for 30 minutes 5 times a week, now that's something you can work with. It's something you can literally count. You can put check marks on a calendar and actually see your progress. That visual feedback is so powerful for keeping you motivated and building momentum. Okay, having a great plan is awesome, but the real magic happens when you turn that plan into action, consistent action. And that brings us to the real engine behind achieving your goals, habits. So how are habits even formed? Well, it's actually a pretty simple 3-step loop that our brains are totally wired for. First, you've got the cue. This is the trigger, like leaving your book on the table. That cue kicks off the routine, the action itself, like studying for 20 minutes. And then, and this is the most important part, comes the reward. That's the positive feeling you get after, that feeling of pride. Your brain gets a little hit of a feel-good chemical, and it basically says, ooh, I like that, let's do that again. Over and over, that loop gets stronger until the whole thing becomes automatic. And here is a fantastic little trick to build that habit loop way faster. It's called habit stacking. The idea is so simple. You just attach the new habit you want to form onto an old one you already have locked in. Like the example here. I will study English right after I finish breakfast every day. Finishing breakfast, something you do without thinking, becomes the perfect cue to start your new studying routine. You're basically piggybacking the new habit onto the old one's momentum. It makes it so much easier to get started. Of course, it's never a perfectly smooth ride, right? Life happens. We all run into these roadblocks. You know, that fear of failure that can paralyze you, or just plain old procrastination. And let's not even talk about distractions like our phones. The key isn't to pretend these things don't exist. It's to expect them and have a plan. So for procrastination, try the 2-minute rule. Just tell yourself you'll do the thing for only 2 minutes. It's almost impossible to say no to 2 minutes. And once you start, it's way easier to keep going. For distractions, make it easy on yourself. Put your phone in another room when it's time to focus. Just acknowledging that these challenges are a normal part of the process is half the battle. And this brings us to our final and honestly one of the most important parts of this whole process. See, achieving a goal isn't just about crossing a finish line. It's about what you do after, the reflection, the learning, and the growth. I absolutely love this quote. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of the journey. It just completely flips the script on how we think about things, doesn't it? We're so often taught that failure's bad, that it's the end, but it's not. Failure is just data. It's information. It's a lesson telling you what didn't work so you can try something different next time. Every single failure is just another step on the path to success. So, with that in mind, whether you totally crush your goal or you miss the mark, there is one single question, that can turn that experience into a massive opportunity for growth. Any guesses what it is? It's this. What did I learn? That's it. That's the golden question. Asking this turns every single outcome, good or bad, into a stepping stone. If you succeed, you learn what works so you can do it again. If you fall short, you learn what needs to be adjusted. When you have this mindset, no effort is ever wasted. It all leads to growth. And this slide really brings it all home. This whole goal-setting thing isn't a one-and-done deal. It's a continuous cycle of growth. You reflect on what happened. You celebrate your wins. And you have to celebrate, even the small ones, to keep that motivation going. And then, you use everything you've learned to set a new, maybe even bigger goal. It's this beautiful upward spiral of improvement. So, I want to leave you with one final question. With all of this in your back pocket now, what is the one smart goal you're going to set for yourself today? Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. What's it going to be? Go ahead and start your own cycle of growth. Thanks so much for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe, turn on that notification bell, give this a like, and leave a comment to support the channel.